What's up, guys? Happy birthday, Kessler.
Today, on this episode, looking at Swiss cheese, we're going to talk about how we fixed why the transmission won't go into gear. We're also going to talk about how you can spend your new stimulus package bill. Stay tuned.
Alrighty, we're going to remove the pan, bolt, housing bolt, whatever you call it. Kind of paranoid of what's going to come out. So I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not just going to use my regular oil drain tube. I'm going to do something completely different because I want to know exactly what's coming out of here. We don't want any metal shavings and stuff. That'd be like worst case scenario. So we're going to use this and hope for the best. There she goes. So she's popped loose. All we gotta do now is let her drain. This is a cool bolt. You actually just put your socket head in there, 3/8 ratchet, and that's it. Kind of makes you wonder why don't they do that for the oil pan bolt? Oh God. Well, I'm not seeing a bunch of shavings. I guess that's good. That is some very thin gear oil. If you've ran like other cars, I used to run a Nissan Sentra, one of the Spec V, the SCR Spec Vs, and we would put some like MT90 from Redline, and that stuff, man, it's like trying to pour clam chowder into your transmission. I mean, it's at least an hour ordeal to get whatever it is, 2 or 3 bottles of that stuff in the tranny, because it is like thick. It's maple syrup, you know what I mean? This stuff here, this looks like some 10W20 or something. So I'm happy. I'm not seeing a lot of shavings. There we go. That's our fill plug there. Looks like it's a 17. I'll try and see if we can't put that on there. Yep, 17. And she'll do the trick. Just like that. This is the one that we're gonna have to try to make something with a 90 and drop it down from the top and then just slide it in there like that. We obviously are going to have to put the plug back in here, but we bought some Skunk 2 stuff, so we're going to actually use a new drain plug that's got a magnet on it. I'm going to show you that next. All right, let's take a look at this Skunk 2 Racing oil pan and trans plug here. Skunk 2, man, they always do such a great job with all of their product stuff, man. Owner's kit. I don't really know what you got a kit for this, but you know, looks like some nice like them Marlboro promos you get, you know, for your smokes, your backer. Got some cool stuff. Oh, that's very clean as always. But anyways, just this thing in here to look at some of the products, whatever. Get out of that. We've got stickers, and our 2 bolts. So I believe all these don't use the ratchet wrench. That's interesting. They're both 17 millimeter, but they are supplied with a copper washer. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the long one is the trans, and the short one is the oil pan. Don't hold me to that though. I will look that up, and so I'll put a little graphic here that'll say short this, long that. That way Oh, see, look, there it is right there. That's how you know what it is you need to use each bolt for. There you go. But essentially all these are is just the same. It's the same bolt. It's just got a magnet on it. So for some reason, you know, you get something that's like at our situation, you know, and we got some gears grinding and there's some like little metal shavings, debris. It's just gonna collect that and keep it from floating around the engine, destroying other stuff, you know, scoring your block walls or something like that in the scenario of your motor. But that's really all it is. But it was pretty cheap for these. I mean, it was like, got on Amazon for like 50 bucks or something. So not a bad deal. And a correction, I didn't pay 50 bucks for it. It was actually $32. That's like almost half of what I thought it was. I can't remember. I bought it the same time I bought the Honda Trans Fluid. So anyways, I got it all mixed up. But do want to give a shout out to Nirabo for the subscription, man. Really appreciate the follow. The rest of you guys, if you are watching this and you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. You can even do the bell thingy where every video we post, it gives you like a push notification. That way you're not like, wonder what's going on with that. We'll let you know what's going on with it as soon as we post a video. So hit that subscribe button and let's keep going. Let's just note like what we're holding here. This is all that I drained out of the trans. That's basically like a quart and a half. That's a quart and a half. This is a 1 gallon jug of milk. It's not half full, which would be 2 quarts. I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like this thing was definitely low. So that's a very good sign that that is exactly what was causing us issues at the track, not being able to shift, was literally just a lack of gear roll. Let's see if we can see it from the top. You sort of kind of can. So what I'm gonna do is I've got a bunch of rubber hose and I've got some that fit together pretty decent like this. These are vacuum tubes and different stuff like that. We're gonna take this guy here and just slide them down and boom. Should fit right in there like that. I mean, if that ain't no money maker, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, that's awesome that worked out good. See where we're at here? Rubber hose up in there. I mean, that's awesome. And we're literally just gonna fill this up till it starts pouring out of the same hole. I'll show you. I mean, it's kind of dumb. You would think of the 5,000 funnels I have around the house, I'd have something that would work, but nothing is skinny enough to fit in that tube. So $1.50, we get the skinny tip and stick it in our little rubber hose. That'll do the trick. You could probably just take, honestly, a couple pieces of fairly thick paper and just roll it up and make you a little funnel. But we're just gonna do this so that way, you know, we can waste $1.50. Just the way to do it. I will say though, I decided to go the Redline route. We're not gonna use just OEM Honda fluid. We're gonna mix in 1 quart of Redline manual transmission fluid. But that's on back order. So we're gonna let that have a couple of days. It'll come in then and we'll fill that up. I am so upset. Like I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting on this quart of Redline MTF. But I'll tell you something that did come today. If you caught what I said at the beginning about your stimulus and how we're gonna help you spin that, I got some news for you folks. If I can get the box open, we got some goodies in today. What is it? It is a 5757 turbo. This is gonna be awesome. Definitely can't wait to get this guy on the car. Oh, that's nice. That is so nice. Brand new. It's a 5757. We got this from Boost Lab. It's a store, I think they're out of Tampa, Florida. I was looking at some eBay stuff and I really didn't want to go the eBay route on something like a turbo. You kind of want to stick with really good stuff when it comes to the turbo. You can skimp on other things. But the guy's got like 1,000 something reviews and none of them are negative. None of them. So that kind of speaks for itself in my opinion. We're gonna give them a shot, give them a shot. We still got a ton of other stuff to do though. I've only basically bought the turbo. I haven't done anything else as far as putting together the exhaust manifold, and we are going to pretty much piece the kit together ourselves, but this is not a huge turbo. But I think this is going to be the exact thing we need to keep us below 300 horsepower. I'm not trying to build the block at all. I'm trying to stay as stock as I can there. But I think with this, if I can find a decent price on an exhaust manifold, then we can maybe have a $1,400 turbo build, which is pretty awesome if you're considering doing something like that and you just got your stimulus check. We're going to give it a whirl. I think it's going to be really hard to stay under budget because you can do a $1,400 turbo build, but it's really hard when you basically go above 500 bucks on a turbo, which we did, not by much. But man, this thing is going to eat. I can't wait to have this thing in this car. Hopefully by the end of spring, we'll have everything running. So, hey, if you made it this far, this is your reward. You got to see what's about to go on the car. So we're going to check out. And at this point, I don't know what we're going to do. If we're going to end it here, maybe we'll wait on the manual transmission fluid to come in. We can freaking get the car back on the road because I want to know if my transmission's good or not. So, but this is a nice little surprise to have this. So stay tuned. It's going to be fun. Gosh. Can you believe that? How many times you order something off of Prime and it takes like 13 days to get here? Anyways, we got it. It finally showed up. I mean, I've been out of my mind over here. I didn't set my drums up. I'm changing doors out in the house. I mean, I'm doing honey to-do list stuff waiting on this guy. So it's here. We're going to fill it up. We're going to do 1 quart of the MTL. We've already done 1 quart of the Honda stuff. And then we're going to, once this is done, we're going to go back and do the rest with Honda until it starts pouring out. We're going to tighten her up and we're going to fire her up, and we're going to see if we get any of that clunking, that like chunky, weird shift stuff, or if it's back to peanut butter smoothness like it's supposed to be. Wish us the best. All right, here's the sexy stuff right there. Wouldn't be Redline if it wasn't red, huh? Yeah. They put red 40 in this, just so you know. I looked it up on the internet, so it's got to be facts. There we go. All right, you can see a little bit of run right there starting to come out, so we don't need to add anymore. We're just going to let that work itself out. I'm sure once I pull this tube out, maybe a little will come out, but that's okay. That's fine. But it's full is the point. So we're going to put the fill plug back in, and we're going to start shifting it and see how much better or worse it is. Fingers crossed. I mean, it's not terrible, but I don't know. We're going to take it for a drive. I guess it's a little bit better. So, did it fix the problem? Well, honestly, in my opinion, I don't think it did. I think the transmission was ran too long with too low of fluid. Sort of kind of my fault. I probably should have checked that as soon as I bought it. I didn't. And the only time I ever drive the car, I'm like driving the car, you know what I mean? It's not a daily driven car. We're not putting around. We're racing this thing. Like, we're going full send pretty much all the time. So it's better than it was. But I can pretty much tell you that, like, this transmission will never be able to be power shifted. Like, you're not going to be full throttle shifting through second. Third's okay, but you've got to let off throttle, push in clutch to get in, to engage in second, without, like, I'm telling you, when I was at the track, I felt like if I pulled any harder to get it into second, I was going to break the transmission. So it's not that bad, but you can still feel a little bit of chunkiness. You know, I did notice when I was backing out that we've got some pretty ugly camber wear here from when I had the car low. And I did buy these Bridgestones used. So between the fact that these, where is it at? These are the RE71s right here. And those are pretty much, I've read a bunch of stuff about the RE71s. I've heard a lot of people call them cheater tires, right? Because they have a 200 tread wear, but people swear that, like, no, dude, it's really more like a 140, 150 tread wear. Like, that's a soft street tire. You know what I mean? It's not a drag radial. It's not a slick. But as far as street tires go, like, if you guys ever hear the rocks hitting up under the car, this is a sticky tire, man. And for a street tire, that's pretty awesome. But some of that could have been from the guy I bought them from. But honestly, I think it's probably a little bit me. So that probably had a lot to do with some of our traction issues at the track. And the fact that nothing had been prepped before we got there. It was cold, so we're learning some of what these bugaboos are, and it gives me a little bit of hope that if there's a next time we go to the track with this as it currently sits, you know, with a 2.5 60-foot time, that's pretty awful. And we still ran, I think, a 10.3. Go back to the other video and look at the slip. But running the 10.3 with a 2.5 60, that's awful. That's, you clean the 60 foot up to like a 1.7, 1.6, or like a 1.6 to 1.8. Right there's a 9.5 pass, easy. So I wanted a 9.5 car. I think I got one, but it's gonna be a lot faster than 9.5, a lot sooner now that we got the old snail running. So anyways, that's it for now. We're going to talk about the turbo build on the next video. We're going to get into, like, kind of what made us do that. And
My scooter.
all right, see ya.